What is up, guys? Brandon here, bringing you guys your OBA Week 7 match against the Mississippi Machamps, coached by Johnmark. Before the video starts, feel free to drop a like down below and subscribe as well if you guys want more battles like this and other Pokemon content in the future in your subscription boxes. Grassy plays Raikous. Currently, I think we are 3-2. I think 3-2 or 4-2. I think that makes sense. I forgot. I actually didn't look at our differential for a long time. I actually haven't even been updated with the spreadsheet. All I know right now, before this week ends, we're actually number 1 in our division. Our opponent actually is number 2 in our division. I think it's number 2 in our division as of right now. I haven't looked at the spreadsheet for a long time, guys. Anyways, there was a lot of controversy actually last week about my opponent because our opponent last week, or not last week, 2 weeks before, Attack on Samurott, actually uploaded his battle, or his team builder for his battle, like a little bit early on accident. Not gonna say my opponent counter teamed him, but he actually ended up picking up a 6-0. I really think he actually looked at the team builder though, because there was a few plays in that match that really you would not do unless you knew what your opponent's sets were. There's actually quite a few of those kinds of plays in that match. I did watch both sides. I watched Samurott's side and Johnmark's side, but not going to go into it too much depth because that week is already done now and I can't do nothing about it. I have no control over it, but basically the top 2 division rivals right here, me and him. So just going to let you guys know right now, my opponent has an insane type matchup against me. He pretty much has the overall advantage. I have like no way to really counter a lot of his types. He really counter teams me with a lot of his draft. I do have a few things that which I kind of counter some of his things, but it all depends on what he brings. He has so many options. Also, his draft is more of hyper offensive draft. He really doesn't have as bulky of a draft like last season. So I kind of have to prepare for that as well. More of like a hyper offense team and stuff like that. So even though he has a few mons that can run like a few different ways, like a defensive Crocodile, like a few other things, defensive Staraptor and stuff like that. My opponent brought a few different things. I really didn't expect him to bring Rotom Fan. I actually predicted him to actually bring the Magnezone instead. I'm assuming why he didn't bring Magnezone is because of Arcanine. I'm guessing that's the only reason why. He brings Rotom Fan instead, which I actually was fine with because it's weak to rocks. So that, and it's kind of slow, so I can deal with it a little bit better than Magnezone, which hits super hard. I also do have Chansey for stuff like that. Was originally going to bring Lantern for this match, but then again, Crocodile gets completely shut down by it, so that's really one of the reasons I did not bring it for this match. Opponent actually brings the Crocodile, which I 100% predicted him to bring, just for the Cresselia and the Chansey. It matches up so well against my draft that he bringing the Hoopa. Wasn't really too worried about it because between Skarmory and Chansey, if it's like a physical set or a special set, those two pretty much wall it. Possibly not. It had a very good team matchup. I have like no switch-ins for it except I guess Manaphy, but even with like Thunder Punch and stuff like that, if you want to like run that like a setup Infernape or something like that, it'd be that guy and run a Calm Mind Infernape, which I really didn't expect him to bring. I kind of expected him to bring either Life Orb or Sash Infernape, maybe Lead Infernape. I'm guessing Hitmonlee was there for rapid spin purposes, I guess. That's pretty much the reason why. Other than that, I'm going to go over my team right now. We got Manaphy. Really wanted to bring sub Tail Glow set this week, but being that his team is mostly hyper offenses, I really had no ability to get in and actually set up a sub and get a Tail Glow up. Being that his draft is mostly hyper offense, there was really no opportunity for it. It was either come in, set up a Tail Glow, possibly on the switch and get lucky and outspeed a few things. It pretty much checks the Diancie before Mega Evolution, which I'm assuming he might be carrying Protect as well, so was fully expecting that. It does counter the Crocodile unless he's Scarfed, so that's something I wanted as well. It counters the Infernape. Close combat does not one-shot unless he's banded. Pretty much banded, I think. Counters the Rotom Fan if he's running, except if he's running like a bulky set, I guess, and stuff like that. So, and also is a decent check to the Staraptor if he's not Scarfed. So I think it's actually a speed tie though, so that kind of sucks. But bringing a specially defensive Skarmory, running actually max special defense. I think it's like 50 or 60 some EVs in the HP and the rest in defense. This thing was basically made to take on the Crocodile, made to take on the Mega Diancie, because Hidden Power Fire still isn't going to be doing too much to me, and made to take on the Staraptor with the Rocky Helmet. The Manaphy is actually Expert Belt, by the way. I really didn't know what other item. I really didn't want Life Orb on Manaphy either, just because of the recoil damage. Back to Skarmory. Running Stealth Rock, Steel Wing, mainly for Diancie, and hit stuff for decent damage. Drill Peck, hit a lot of his fighting types like Infernape and stuff like that, possibly on the switch for decent damage. Stealth Rock and the Roost. Bringing Mr. YOLO, the Arcanine, actually running Scarfed Arcanine this week with extreme speed. Mainly just outspeed Infernape, Mach Punch, and stuff like that. Mainly more priority on his side. It also was made to outspeed the Diancie, which I can bop it with Iron Head and actually one-shot. Running the Iron Head, close combat, just mainly for the Crocodile, to hit the Crocodile with something decent with. And the Flare Blitz for stab, kind of a no-brainer. And the E-Speed, Flare Blitz, CC, and Iron Head, that's what it is. Running the Swellow this week, no Protect on this Swellow. I really did not need the Protect, in my opinion. Plan was to come in, pick up a kill, get my Guts activated. Running actually Steel Wing, otherwise I get completely walled by the Diancie. So, pretty much had to run the Steel Wing, and if he does Protect even, has to Protect, I still outspeed on the following turn, because he's only base 110 base speed, so... Steel Wing, Brave Bird, U-Turn, and the Facade, running the Flame Orb. U-Turn mainly for Celebi, because Celebi was a big threat. I really didn't not have no switch-ins for that thing, and if he wanted to run like a Baton Pass weakness policy set like he's been running lately, pretty much kills with the U-Turn, even after Guts, or not even before Guts. Guts I don't think even matters, but bring the Chansey mainly as a counter to his Magnezone and special attackers like Hoopa and stuff like that. I really had nothing for those. If I even brought the special defensive Lantern, I get completely bopped by Crocodile. So really no justice in bringing Lantern this week, even though I wanted to bring it so bad. This gets outspent by so much and gets completely bopped by most of his team. Running a standard set, basically Toxic, Aromatherapy, the Seismic Toss, and Soft Boiled. Basically standard set. Sour Nacho's the Venusaur. Actually running Earthquake to catch the Magnezone off guard and actually kill it after Sturdy's broken. So that's really what that was for. And mainly to catch the Infernape, possibly on a switch-in. And to hit the Diancie for decent damage, even though Giga Drain will probably do more, I guess. But running Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Synthesis, and the Earthquake. We're going to hop into this. I do apologize, guys, for ranting a shitload, but I really wanted to get through my sets and get all my thoughts out in this video before we go into this battle. I'm going to lead with his Manaphy here, just because I actually predicted him to lead with the Fernape. He actually leads with Rotom, so good play by my opponent, leading with Rotom. I have no switch in for this thing except Chansey, which he actually knows. So he's going to go for the Volt Switch here, which I kind of did predict. There was really nothing for me to stop the Volt Switch from happening. So Chansey eats it up. From that damage, though, I'm not quite sure if he's actually either Scarfed or something like that, because that does absolutely nothing. So I'm assuming maybe he's a bulkier type set. He's going to go with the Crocodile here. Actually going to predict either the Earthquake or the Knockoff right here, and actually go out into the Skarmory, hashtag Drama Alert, hitting the field. He actually does set up his rocks here. However, since it's Diancie is not Mega Evolved, I can set up my own rocks if I wanted. Now right here I actually predicted the Infernape to come in. Actually him predicting to set my Stealth Rock, but he actually goes into Hoopa instead, which is kind of surprising. I'm assuming this thing's max HP, max special attack from that damage. I'm gonna set my rocks here. Now I did not know this from at this point, but it's actually a speed tie. We're both not invested in speed, so it is a speed tie here. Shadow Ball really doesn't do too much, but right here I actually find out it's a speed tie, which kind of sucks. He knocks off my Rock Helmet, which really isn't the biggest thing, but he gets a little bit of residual damage right here. Now right here I actually take a super huge risk and actually hope to win the speed tie, which I do not. So Skarmory is already gone pretty early in the match, which now I have a very, very big Diancie and Crocodile counter gone. So that is very, very, very troublesome for me. Gonna go into the Venusaur here. Maybe he wanted to save this thing, so I just went for the Sludge Bomb. It killed either way, so just go for the Sludge Bomb. I'm assuming maybe Assault Vest, Hoopa. I'm not quite sure what he was running, but either Assault Vest or Life Orb or something. I'm not quite sure, but maybe E-Belt. I don't know. Gonna go into Rotom here. Now right here, I actually picked him to over-predict and actually go for the Volt Switch. He actually goes for the Will-O-Wisp, so right now I'm assuming that this thing is more of a bulky Rotom fan, which I'm pretty sure he actually ran last week. I think it was either last week or the week before he actually ran this. So at this point I pretty much knew his moveset. Either it has to be Air Slash, Volt Switch, Willow, and I'm assuming Clean Split at this point. Actually, we're going to go for the Air Slash right here. Going to go right out into Chansey. Either Air Slash or the Volt Switch right here. That does not happen though. He actually goes for the Pain Split, which good play on my opponent going for the Pain Split. Gets him pretty much up to full, just because Chansey has so much damn HP. So that's very, very bad. Takes me down to pretty much 50% here. Gonna go for the Will-O-Wisp. Wasn't really too worried about this because I do have the Natural Cure and the Aromatherapy. Gonna get a Toxic on this thing. Now Toxic is very, very big. Luckily I actually land a Toxic. This Chansey seems to be blind lately. In any other match I want to use it in. Like a practice match, just get familiar with the team. It does not want to land Toxic whatsoever, so actually land the Toxic, which is magnificent there. He's gonna go for the Volt Switch here. Gonna stay in, go for the Seismic. I think it's either the Seismic, I'm not quite sure what I went for right here. I think it's either Seismic Toss or Soft Boiled. Gonna go into the Fernape here, put the pressure on here. Now I have no switch into Fernape here, so gonna go for the Soft Boiled, just get my HP back. Now my opponent actually goes for a U-turn right here, which I guess could have been a little bit of a precursor to telling that he was Scarfed. I wasn't really quite sure. Damage says he's not banded right here by that damage, so I wasn't quite sure. At this point I'm still thinking he's probably Focus Sash, but if I were him I would have went for the Close Combat. He's going to go and Hitmonlee here. I'm just going to go for the Seismic Toss. I want some damage on the Infernape to the point where I come in with Scarfed Arcanine and actually kill with a Close Combat. Because that's pretty much what I'm going to have to do. Pretty much to win that match. Either go for the Close Combat or 2 Flare Blitzes would take it out. So I need at least a little bit of damage on there. Stealth Rocks are helping, but opponent actually predicted him actually Rapid Spin. He goes for the straightforward play and actually goes for the knockoff. So at this range I come in with Manaphy and kill him with a Scald. So that was the best play here. I could have went out into the Arcanine as well, but I did not want to take the Rocks damage and possible Mach Punch damage, which he actually does reveal right here. And thanks to Life Orb, I'm actually getting a better roll to actually kill. So Hitmonlee is gone, so we have 2 big threats gone. Even though my side really isn't too good of a matchup right now. He's going to go out into the Rotom here. I would have stayed in and actually went for the Ice Beam, but was not in range. Ice Beam only did around about 50 to like 60%, and he's at more than that right now. So I need to let the Toxic pretty much wear him down to the point where I can come in with Manaphy and go for the Ice Beam. Was my thought process behind this. does go for the pain split, so I maybe could have stayed in there and actually got 2 ice beams off and killed this thing at this point, but the Volt Switch and the Air Slash were a bit too risky, and I needed Manaphy around for the Crocodile, which was one of my pretty much key mons to take that thing out. And right now all we've seen was Stealth Rock from it, so I'm assuming at this point him showing Intimidate and Stealth Rock, maybe a more of a defensive set, which Manaphy pretty much destroys, so I need to keep it around. Right here, I'm just pretty much going to stall out Air Slash and stall out for toxic damage. On this next turn, actually, Briggs actually go out into Fernape, so that's why I actually go for the Sludge Bomb. However, that does not happen, so I'm pretty much have to let my Venusaur go right here. Pretty much let it go. I really have no switch into this thing either. Rotom really didn't expect it to be that much of a threat, but turns out being a kind of a big threat, running a bulky type set. Could have went for the, I should have went for the Synthesis, but I really predicted him to actually go out into the Infernape, predicting actually a Synthesis stall, but it does not happen. At this range though, I can kill with an Ice Beam if I need to, so, and after the toxic damage, so pretty much a guaranteed kill for Manaphy here, or whatever I want to go out into. At this point, Venusaur is just a sack. I really have no switch into this thing. I could have went out into the possibly the Manaphy and taken Air Slash, but at that point, plus Rocks damage and Air Slash damage, it really wasn't too much to where Infernape can come in and pick me off with a Mach Punch, which I did not want. So at this point, though, was debating whether to go out into Manaphy. If you went out into Manaphy, that pretty much just invites the I think it invites the maybe I could have went Manaphy right here. I maybe could have. I really didn't want the Rocks damage on there though. The Rocks damage after Rocks really wouldn't have been too good. Maybe could have went Manaphy right there though. Did not though. I actually chose out to go into Arcanine, which I am Scarfed at this point. I am actually Scarfed Arcanine. That's why I actually go for the Close Combat. Close Combat was the best move to actually lock myself into because it's neutral on the Diancie and super effective on the Crocodile. Now right here, we actually find out my opponent is actually the Scarfed Infernape, which at this point, if he was not Scarfed, I would have actually won this match because all I had to do, pretty much get the damage off with Arcanine, which would have done around about 50 to 63% with Close Combat. At that point, I would have came in with my Swellow, and at that point, he would have went for the Mach Punch. Mach Punch only does around about 25% to me, plus Rocks damage, so I would have been around about half. Take him out with a probably a Facade at the range he would have been at. He would have went into Crocodile. Assuming it's a defensive Crocodile, he would not have killed my Manaphy with a knockoff, even after Stealth Rocks damage. Would have came in. I am actually offensive Manaphy. Scald would have taken him out from the range he would have been at, and at that point, Diancie either has to go for Protect or actually get risk actually getting taken out by Manaphy. If he actually kills my Manaphy, I can go out into my Swellow, and after Rocks damage on the Diancie, Steel Wing is a 100% kill, so I would have won that match if he was not Scarfed. So, kind of sucks. He actually ran an Scarfed Infernape, but there was nothing I can really do. I was hoping he actually would get a low roll on my Manaphy, because there was a chance of me living, but he actually ends up getting a high roll, so that actually kind of sucks. And Swellow would not live either way, just because of the Rocks damage. There was a possibility of me living at full HP, but really the roll was not in my favor. So GG to my opponent, actually picking up a 3-0 over me. But going to try bringing this back, we have to go against all of the people in our division again in like a few weeks. I think like 3 or 4 weeks again. So what I'm assuming is I'm gonna get my ass completely kicked because I'm not really good with matchups or rematches. So I'm assuming I'm pretty much gonna lose all my matches as of right now, because I'm really not good with rematches for my division, or I've never really been good with rematches. So I'm assuming to pretty much get my ass kicked when rematches happen in like 4 or 5 weeks. So other than that though, our opponent next week, Ryan, the Liverpool Loons, really gonna go into it not expecting to win because he's a phenomenal player. Pretty much kicked my ass last season in season 1, but we put on a pretty good match. It came down to like 2 or 3-0, so I'm hoping to at least get it down to like 2 or 3-0, pretty much, I guess. Depends on what I want to run. He does have a lot of offensive mons that kind of counter mine, but Him running a sand team, I can maybe capitalize on that with Skarmory and some other things. Maybe I can run like a sand team myself or something, I don't know. But I do have a few things that really do a lot of damage to his mods that really counter a few of things, but he also has a few things that completely body a lot of my things. So it's gonna be one of those weeks again where it's gonna be coming down to the best player again. Really don't expect to go into the week and pulling out a victory, but if I do, hey, we got a victory. But I'm gonna have 2 hard matchups I say in the next few weeks here. We have to go against Liverpool Loons next week, and then we actually have to go against the Houston Rotoms, coached by Nazar, 2 of probably the best battlers so far in the league. So other than that though, hope you guys did enjoy. Feel free to drop a like down below. I do apologize for my rant at the beginning, like a 10-minute rant, but and going over the stats. But if you guys did enjoy, feel free to drop a like down below and subscribe as well if you want more content like this in the future. That being said, I'm gonna get out of here. See you guys next week. Peace.